Okay, well, I wasn't planning on coming back today, but some big news just came down the pike, and I thought I would just share my 2 cents on it. If anybody is here and is watching, and we had a great chat earlier with some great people today, and they want to give me their feedback, I'd love to hear it. If not, I'm just going to give you my opinion on this, and if it's kind of dull and bland and just kind of really straight to the point, yo, what's up, John? I'm just talking about the FSU announced they um, FSU fired their dismissed. I hate to use the first word. Their defense coordinator, offense coordinator, and wide receivers coach. Um, had to be done. What I don't like is maybe I could be wrong in time, and I really hope I am because I like Mike Norvell as a person, but I don't think he's the guy anymore at Florida State. Um, so these are just sacrificial lambs to me. They didn't do a good job. I hate to say it. They deserved what happened, but there's just the minor dismantle the whole team. Yeah, that shit probably coming. But if you don't like if you're unhappy with the leader, it doesn't really matter who you bring in beneath him. Um, but yeah, that being said, so I'm just gonna not announce, but just talk about this. About an hour ago, I waited till some of the other stuff got their talking points in because why not hear what the the people tied into the team said before I came on. Um, so Mike Norvell announced that Adam Fuller, our defense coordinator, uh, Alex Atkins, our offensive coordinator, and Ron Dugan's our wide receiver coach have been dismissed. I don't think it's something he wanted to do. I think he probably had his hand forced, especially doing it now with 2 games left. Um, and I think more to come, but they couldn't fire the whole staff before the last 2 games. Um, but what do I know? I mean, yeah, War Chant. I agreed with some things they were talking about just now in their live streams. Some things not as much, and it's not a disrespect to them. I'm friends with a lot of those guys, but just like anybody, and John, who's in the chat, can tell you, man. If I disagree with you, I disagree with you. If he disagrees with me, he'll tell me. That's how it should be. I think society is getting away from that a little bit, so I'm just gonna say it. Chris, what's up, buddy? Glad you came back, man. Um, that's what I'm worried about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hey, listen, if Mike turns it around and does it, I'll be happy. It'll save us a lot of money, and it'll be a story that you really don't see in college football too often. Really, if ever, a 1-win team, maybe 2-win team turns it around and gets back to the way they should be. Never seen it before. But the debate now on the offensive coordinator is that means absolutely nothing. Never mind. We're not getting political, man. I'm here just for Florida State football. Um, but so yeah, so is Mike giving up play calling? Because then, yeah, that does open you up to a better group of candidates for the offense coordinator position. No big time OC is coming here just to run his offense when they're at a good gig. Um, what I agreed with Ward Chan on was that about the play calling situation. I agreed with them that it had to be done. I agree. They're like pumped for Norvell, and he did it. He's awesome. Look what he's doing. And now we're probably going to have him for at least 2 more years now because you're not going to get a big name coach to be a coordinator if he thinks the head coach is a lame duck. I don't buy that. I think if you're 2, 3, 4 win team again next year, he's done. Man, I don't think Chris. I don't think the boosters are going to invest this money in buyouts for these coaches if he's going to run his same 12-point a game offense. Uh, that's what it comes down to. I think if we see that this coach isn't interested or that coach isn't interested for whatever reason, we'll get an idea. But like I talked about earlier today, I'm not excited. I'm not happy about this stuff. I feel bad for those guys. I mean, they're well taken care of. Don't get me wrong, and it's a business, but I'm not happy about it. And in my personal opinion, the leader is the issue. So if the leader's the issue, I don't really care about who the under guys are, because they're a representation of him. Yes, FSU announces Mike Norvell's gone today. We're having a whole different conversation. Um, So I don't know. I don't think this is going to revitalize him and pump him up. And yeah, getting new guys. I'm going to get some. I don't know. I don't think so. Sometimes new coaches come in and it reinvigorates you in ways you might not have realized, and maybe that'll be a good thing. I remember, and I know I keep giving past examples, but we've had a lot to go off of at Florida State. 2012, we were 10-2. Pretty much the whole staff had left. Well, not the whole staff, but a lot of them had left for either head coaching jobs or lateral jobs. And Jimbo had to pretty much replace the whole staff. And the concern was that Jimbo was a little not fun to work for. Whether that was the case or not, the new coaches came in and it really invigorated him and the team, and it just really helped. So maybe that will be a good thing. Maybe that does help Mike, and hearing new voices and that. And some guys are coming here to say, yeah, we're not here to be a puppet. Like, we're here for our career. We're not just happy to be along for the ride. That would be a good thing. That I would like. So if I see like some alpha type guys that he brings in, that'll be interesting. But if I hear some no-name guy from somewhere, but he's got great potential, that's just Mike just being Mike. So that's what it comes down to there. I'll be curious about you're going to hear what I think is going to happen is you're going to hear some big names at first. And then as the dust settles, that's going to tone down. So I would relax there if you think big names are coming here at OC or DC. I understand, a lot of times being a D coordinator at Florida State can help you get that head coaching job you want. And if you turn this team around, you deserve one. But coaches are going to have to be extra careful coming here now, or we're going to have to pay extra for those good guys. I'm sure they've had to make commitments, Alfred and the boosters, to Mike and Mike to them. So we'll find out. He's doing a press conference tomorrow at 11:30. I don't think he's going to say much. He's not going to say, yeah, when I search for a new OC, I'm finding someone who has a really good offense. He's not going to answer that. He's not going to say that at all. You're not going to really know until you hear maybe who the final candidates are, or who the actual guy is. If he just promotes a lot of guys to positions like who are already on staff, like as GAs or whatever, then you're going to know his time here is these are just cosmetic moves. That's the best way I can describe it. I'm going to read Chris's question, and then I'm going to get into I don't want to forget what I just said. I was about to say, I agree. He has to give up play calling. I would ask him that question tomorrow for sure. If he retains that is performative. Absolutely. Like I said, I don't think he'll answer that. Mike has got too much pride, and I'm not saying that's a good thing. It's just not him. But you will get a gauge on based on the type of coordinator he brings in. Warchain is cheering Norvell as if he's the man now for doing these moves. He was probably forced to. I don't think he wanted to. He definitely didn't want to do it with 2 games left. I don't think he saw the point of that, because he could have done it a few weeks ago then and got the ball rolling. It's not like I said earlier today, things need to be done today. Not tomorrow, not after that, but today. Well, they apparently thought the same thing too, and I'm not saying I'm a genius because I'm not. But fans weren't going to take it another day. So the fact that he's calling an 11:30 press conference tomorrow on a bye week, that means he does have some things to say, and in some ways. But Mike is usually pretty tight-lipped, so not really expecting much out of that. When do you think he hires? Oh, man, good question. Well, all right, keep this in mind, Chris. You might know this, you might not. The early signing day is like 3 or 4 days after the last game against Florida. So those players are going to want to know who their coach is, or you're kind of just sacrificing the early signing period to wait a little bit. Also, between the early signing day and if you want to coach whose team's going to the playoffs, you're going to have to wait now. This is like the NFL now, where teams always seem to have to wait till January, February to hire a coach. NFL, it's a little easier because of how your offseason is compared to college. But that's going to be a factor, too, that no one was talking about, waiting versus not waiting. They weren't willing to wait for Cam Ward last year. Maybe we're having different conversations today. not saying we would have got him, probably not, but still, they weren't willing to wait. So yeah, so that's my thing is if we're just making cosmetic moves just to please the fan base, we're in the same predicament we were before. Now, if we get some new dogs on the coaching staff and guys who aren't yes people to Mike and whatever you want, sir. I'm not saying these guys were completely, but after all these years together, they probably just had such a friendship that it was like, okay, whatever you say, without even realizing it. I don't think Odell's not that kind of guy, but still. So you're gonna have to have some guys who are alphas and no, we're not, this is how it's gonna be. Not that they're the head coach, but like a Jeremy Pruitt came in and put his foot down day one with the defense. Jimbo let him do that. Those type of coaches. When Jimbo Fisher came in with the offense at Florida State, yeah, he had goals of the head seat with Bowden, but he came in day one, put his foot down. That's what you need. And if Mike can get this program back on track and become like the CEO and actually become a good recruiter, because he has less on his plate, I don't think it's a bad thing either. I would rather it work out with Norvell. I'd rather save the money, put it towards players, put it towards a solid staff. Players are the number one thing. I mean, good luck with that. I don't think we're going to get a staff that comes in and really revamps the roster in a way we want. So who knows what we're looking at next year? And I know I'm sounding Debbie Downer. I know I'm sounding doom and gloom. A lot of people are just so happy it just actually happened because they were beginning to wonder. So I'm glad we got some clarity at least. I feel bad for those guys. But it is what it is. But and I'm not trying to be rude there. But that's why I'm not going to get into each coach and why they were fired. I'm just not. We just know the team as a whole has been awful this year. It speaks for itself. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, let me see. Guys who can recruit to man these high. Oh, dude, you aren't lying, and I don't know if we even get some coaches that come in and really change that for us right away. We hate to say it, and I know I lost yesterday, but Mario has done a great job in the state of Florida recruiting. And with NIL now, if even we get some dog recruiters, Miami just might offer a few bucks more to get the kid. You know, if we're not on par NIL wise with that school or an Ohio State that we're recruiting against, NIL's changed the game in recruiting. It used to be just get the coaches, they get the players, we're good. There's so many other variables now with the transfer portal and NIL now that it's tough to put a roster together, especially in the high school level. Because, all right, so let's say you recruit well in the high school, kid's not happy after 1 year, he's gone. So it's really hard to develop players for 2 years down the line anyway. I just want the evaluations to be better, regardless. What we did this past portal cycle obviously didn't work. That's why these aren't the only guys who have been part of the problem. I think, man, I hope I don't get called out for this in the future, but I think these guys were the sacrificial lambs for the real problem. They couldn't get rid of the real problem because look what it will cost you. But I don't think it's like he's done such a great job and his coaches have let him down. I wish that was the case. Then I feel good about Mike. And like I said, if I sound Debbie Downer, I'm just keeping it real. Now maybe he does some changes amongst himself personally. I think that needs to be done, especially after a year like this. That's why I'm willing to wait and see in the off season and be. I don't want to say hopeful or optimistic, but I'm willing to like watch and be like, man, I see something here. But right now, no. This is just something for people to talk about more than it is. It's cosmetic right now. It's not going to fix that much right away. I think that's it right now. I just wanted to come in and do a quick 2 cents on what I thought. If anybody has any questions while I'm still here, put them in the chat. Would love to give my 2 cents. Okay, Chris is back. That's fine. That's what worries me. He hasn't done anything all year to improve the team. The team has gotten worse. No accountability. Oh, absolutely. So if he is doing this as the head coach, how is a new wide receiver coach going to come in and be the difference there? I mean, honestly, And Mike Norvell was a wide receiver in college. So this is like a double shot on him. I know I've been tough on Mike because I know he has done some good things, but this year is just, I don't care how people spin it. Today isn't like the beginning of a new day at Florida State, and Mike's got us now. We're going to have to see a lot for us to change and go back to that opinion. About where I'm going to have to. If you don't and you think he's the guy and just make some changes and we're good, hey, I hope you're right. I hope you're right, man. But so all right, I think I'm gonna sign off now. I just wanted to chime in about this. Chris, thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate that, man. Comments like that, man, just mean a lot to me. And yeah, I'm gonna be more active here. I'm gonna bring more people on. It was short notice. I couldn't really get somebody right now. Because we have more to talk about now. So I don't expect to hear some names come out today. Definitely today, not tomorrow, the day after, maybe after the fact. So yeah, take care, everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you have a good week. And I'll talk to you later. Go Knowles always. Go Knowles always, man. Number one. Don't ever give up your Knoll fandom for frustrating times, man. Because you know, uh, I always say, man, I'd rather lose a Knoll on a Saturday than win as any other team. And I stand behind that. So take care, everyone.